going through like Pinot Noir, Cabernet Sauvignon, this kind of stuff, and just going on those combinations of grapes.
Yeah.
And it was really fun. It was really cool. And I learned. I would probably be quite confident in telling you what red wines I enjoy.
Yeah.
I probably need to do the same thing with white wine. But yeah, I think I still feel like there's so much to do and learn with it. It's pretty overwhelming. Like, you know, there's so much out there, man. It's just unbelievable. Plus, you just, on a date or whatever, you look like the man. If you look at the wine list and you look like you know what you're doing, and you just say, yeah, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I'm sure everybody knows it by now, but the top tip is just don't pick the second one down.
Yeah.
Like, I know that was, however many years ago, that was the trick. Pick the second one down because it just makes you not look cheap or, you know. But yeah, they've cottoned on now, big time. They always put the cheapest, crappiest wine second. So, like, just go for one or three. Yeah. Not two.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Oh! Oh, God.
She's back, baby!
Yeah! Oh, God. We'll see what sound effects we have to add in at the end there.
Yeah. Sports time, man. NFL this week.
Yeah.
It's Thursday, right? Kicks off?
Yeah,
apparently.
I think the first one is going to be just one game on Thursday. They do like a charity game. I forget what it's called. Something Cup, but it doesn't actually mean anything.
Right. Okay, cool.
It changes every year who the teams are, but yeah.
So I don't know if we wouldn't have spoken about it last series because it was the summer and there was no football.
Sure.
But yeah, so we're both big NFL fans, and I'm a Chicago Bears fan, and Greg,
Seattle Seahawks fan. Oh yeah.
Seahawks. So we're going to get really American on y'all right now. It's making just a massive. It's making waves in the UK, right? Because for years it was like just this weird sport that American people played.
Totally.
But like, it must be like the last 10, 15 years. It's like it's getting really big here.
Sure.
Especially with some of the games coming to London.
Oh man, it's insane. Like I started following it maybe, God, I don't know, like 7 years ago. Around that area, I reckon.
You had an unfair advantage, though, with American relations.
Yeah, sure. So I'm half American, so my dad's American. He loves NFL. My brother, we're sort of both into it, and my brother who lives in America is a massive Patriots fan. So,
glory supporter.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Who do you support? Man United. Oh yeah.
He lives in California as well, so he couldn't be like
couldn't be further away from Patriots.
Exactly. So I had a leg up there, but man, I just fell in love with it. It was such a crazy thing. I think I wanted to try and get into it. You know, maybe have some sort of sport that was sort of going to be my thing, because like we talked about last week, sort of fell out of love with soccer football, which I know is kind of ridiculous to English people having to like specify which football we're talking about. But
sorry, fellow Englishmen, we just like both, so we've got to specify, otherwise you get confused.
And I wanted to sort of pick a team, picked one. I've got family in Seattle, so I picked them, and then they won the Super Bowl. And then they almost won the next Super Bowl. They should have won the next Super Bowl, but didn't. It was pretty sad. But anyway.
So Super Bowl, for anyone who doesn't know, is the basically the final, like the end game. So there's like a season like there is our football.
Yeah.
And then there are basically the top two teams go through, right, from each.
Yeah, so there's two conferences. The AFC and the NFC.
You're so much better at explaining this.
That's it. You got it. That's it. And then basically the winners of each conference go to play against each other in the Super Bowl. But it's kind of strange because the conferences, they do play each other.
Yeah.
But not as much. So if you're within a conference, you play, I'm pretty sure you play every team at least once. You play every team in your division twice. And then you play one division of the opposite conference. Everyone wants in a division of the other side.
Although I love it, I find it so strange because it's like it's like you've split the Premier League into Premier League A, Premier League B.
Sure.
But not geographically. Like they're sort of like it's strange. It's like you've taken a handful from one and a handful from the other, but they're both equally as good. It's just like two side-by-side leagues, and then within those side-by-side leagues, they are split geographically. So there's like AFC North, South, East, West.
Yeah.
NFC North, South, East, West.
Yes.
So it's like...
But even within that, the geography of it's all messed up.
Because they move teams.
Yeah, they move cities and stuff, exactly.
It's like taking Man United and moving it to Brighton.
Yeah.
And it being like Brighton United, but still the same team.
Sure.
Like... So strange, but
yeah. So that was part of what hooked me. How weird it was, and how strangely it's been organised. Well, I say strange. It's normal for them, but for me, it's like unreal, you know. And the fact they have a draft so that the best players of the college teams get drafted by the teams of the professional league, and they it just keeps it fresh that way, and the way they almost force competitive games because they have things like wage gaps and wage caps and certain spending limits and all this kind of stuff. So it's, I don't know, that
would be so good if that happened in the Premier League, for sure.
Unfortunately, it's too old. There's too many leagues.
Yeah,
there's too much competition between the leagues. Unless you've put it across them all, I don't think they'll ever have it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but
it'd be a monumental undertaking.
Sure,
it'd be crazy.
I mean, why would the Premiership ever do it?
There's no reason aside.
Because La Liga would be like, yeah, great. Premiership's got a wage cap, and then all the best players are going to go from there straight over to Spain or Italy or Germany, or go somewhere else where they'll pay them more. So that's the problem, right? Unless you get all of those guys putting these rules in,
unless you get UEFA or the FA just to be like, to all agree at the same time.
Yeah. I don't know.
Never going to happen.
Exactly. Unfortunately not. But it's such an amazing sport. It is, again, it's almost like wine, the wine of the sporting world, because it is very confusing. Like,
I would have said it was the Coors Light of the sporting world.
Yeah, no, you're probably right.
So the things that English people usually say about NFL, they've seen 10 minutes of it on late at night, and they've not been watching it, and they've not had anyone with them that knows anything about it.
Sure.
So it's usually difficult for them to catch on.
Yeah.
And the things people always say is it's way too long, and it's like stop start.
Yeah.
They're wrong because it's incredible.
Yeah.
But, right. And if anything, it's not long enough.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I like Test cricket, so that's 5 solid days of competition.
Oh, yes.
If it's the Ashes, 25 days of solid competition, sometimes it's a draw.
Yeah.
So
you literally have to wait for the players to have lunch in the middle of the game.
And tea.
And then
2 different meals within the day.
Oh, man, for sure. I mean, I think another problem is people always, if they're going to watch it, they're going to be watching the Super Bowl, which is a different sort of level of game to a standard game in the NFL. There's way more adverts. There's a massive halftime show. There's a lot more stopping and starting. There's big ad breaks where they'll just stop play for a couple of minutes to play one of these Mercedes ads or whatever or Bud Light ads that they've paid millions of dollars to just get this little 10-second slot in. You know what I mean?
Must be some of the most expensive advertising in the world, right?
I reckon. Well, I think it's the most watched sport in the world, right? Sporting event in the world, I'm pretty certain, or one of them.
No, it can't be. The World Cup, football World Cup, soccer World Cup final.
Maybe it's the most watched annual thing.
Maybe.
It's definitely, maybe not the most, but
definitely
it's certainly
in the
up there.
States. It's the biggest thing in the States, right?
Yeah, it's definitely the biggest in the States. But it's up there worldwide now, I think. I mean,
Really?
they're branching out pretty heavily. But, I mean, it's nowhere near our football, soccer levels, definitely not. But yeah, going back to the whole thing in getting it popular over here, it's pretty amazing that you get Wembley completely packed. Four games a year. I think they're upping it now to 6 games because they've got the new Tottenham Stadium.
Oh, amazing.
And it's just oh man, you would never imagine that before. And it's so cool.
You can't buy a ticket for love nor money. It's so expensive.
No.
And it just sells out straight away.
Yeah.
I think they're going to bring MLB over as well Major League Baseball.
That would be cool. That's up your alley, right?
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
It's obviously like
that's the cricket of America,
right?
Yeah.
Because it does take a while. People say it's kind of boring unless you're getting hammered. All the same things they say about cricket, basically, right?
Yeah. So I think they did a game last year, right? So they've done one as like a tester, Yankees Red Sox, at was it the new West Ham Stadium, like the Olympic Stadium?
I honestly don't know about that, so yeah, could be.
Yeah, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, our dear listener. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and because they built this whole like stadium within a stadium,
sure,
for the game, they started playing, and they said it was something to do with the lack of breeze or something in the arena because it was so big that there were just loads of home runs. I think it was like 2017, not the year, like the score,
sure,
something like in terms of home runs, because something to do with the breeze and the wind and how high the things were.
Yeah,
they were just slogging it everywhere. So it was like the best thing for people just cottoning onto this sport.
Yeah,
because it's like every other batter got a home run. It was so good.
Oh, that sounds great. I wonder what the players were like. Obviously, the guys batting were probably happy about it, but
yeah.
I wonder if the pitching team were like, mate, what's
what
going
the
on?
Hell is this? Yeah, because they're like, two of the best teams in the MLB, so
sure,
they were like, it wasn't like they were playing terribly. Like, but yeah, all the commentators were saying this, something to do with the geometry or I don't know, something like that. But yeah just meant it was super easy for them to hit this ball out the stadium.
That's hilarious.
But yeah,
wow,
great marketing. Or maybe, you never know, maybe they just did that to try and, if they gave all the players a little talking to, like, give them an easy one. Like,
yeah.
These heathens are just cottoning onto the sport. Like, give them a show, like a charity match. It's like pro-am golf match.
Wow, that would be interesting. I wonder if, man, I can imagine it, overtaking cricket popularity in terms of people showing up to and watch.
Oh yeah,
because of how new and like, it's American and it's new, right?
Yeah. Well, it's the closest you've got is like T20 cricket. I mean, you like
sure,
where they take a leaf out of the Americans' books, like fireworks and cheerleaders and music. George. Yeah. Oh. So yeah, another thing we'll have to go to and do a little on-site report of when next time it comes to town. Go and see it.
Racking these up at the moment. We got breweries.
Sorry, I'm dropping this in it. Yeah, because now we're gonna have to follow through. Christ, mate, help me out.
I don't think we've followed through with one of our plans yet.
No, it's the manly way. Just trust us that we'll get to it.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. I have to ask you something, mate.
Please go for it.
Have you seen the new James Bond trailer?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have. Of course I have.
No time to die, mate. There's no time to die.
Okay, I mean, the name, crap.
Agreed.
It's just like generic Bond, like something about die in the title, Yeah,
the last few have been a bit, I don't know, hit and miss, I guess. But
yeah,
how do you think they're going to like work it into the script? Like,
no time to die.
Bond, you don't do it. You're going to die.
Yeah.
I ain't got time to die.
I ain't got time to bleed, yeah. I'd love that. Oh, man. Yeah, he's got to... I mean, that's a constant battle with Bond, isn't it? Like, people expect at least one cheesy one-liner, but it's like a real balance, because you don't want to be like Roger Moore, do you know what I mean? Or that, the Sean Connery one, shocking. Positively shocking. You don't want to be one of those.
Yeah.
But it's like a way of making Daniel Craig say a cheesy line, but not too cheesy. Yeah, so I did see the trailer.
Okay.
I thought it was incredible.
Yep.
I thought it was all guns blazing,
yep,
like classic 2020 move. Well, not 2020 because there's been no films this year, but like classic modern times trailer where they just put everything in the trailer. I feel like I've seen it all.
Yeah.
I feel like if there's something happens in the film that's cool that I've not seen, I will be very shocked.
Yeah. I think you're right. There's a lot of like big set pieces, like cars, like just missing him twice. That happens in the trailer.
Jumping off bridges using rope. What's he doing? Car with like the Gatling guns coming out the headlights. Yes. Isn't he in a plane as well at one point? Like a little
weird little stealth plane that goes underwater.
Yeah.
Like, those kind of things are definitely, like, I understand it's cool, but that's part of the draw of seeing the film, surely, is seeing the little gadgets do their thing, seeing the guns come out of the car. I know they need to put some stuff in the trailer, but...
There can't be anything in the film.
I don't know, yeah. And there's so many different settings and backdrops. Like, how long is the film? And, like, how is he getting